Hello, hello, hello. Jackie Glass. I'm just waiting for me to be able to do my Instagram, and we're going to hit go live here and keep it moving. So, I didn't do a morning do this morning. However, I felt like it was really important to let me make sure you guys are hearing the right microphone. Right microphone, microphone, microphone. Can you guys hear the microphone? Can you hear me? Making sure I'm able to be seen and heard. Can you hear me? Can you actually hear me? Instagram or all the other places? Just making sure I'm able to be heard because I don't see my little microphone moving. Actually, let's make sure. Am I able to? Are you able to hear me? Audio, edit, mic. Can somebody get there? We go. Making sure. There we go. I see some comments. Good afternoon. So, Mr. Little, yep. Okay, great. I was just making sure you can hear me. I was panicking for a second, just making sure that you are able to hear me. So, what I wanted to do is, I wasn't on the morning do this morning, but I wanted to at least give you all a snapshot of what happened yesterday. So, good afternoon. I am Jackie Glass, Mama, Navy vet, certified doer, and the laced up legislator for the House of Delegates, a 93rd district. So grateful to be here. Let's get into it. So we do have some sort of big news from the Capitol about where we are and, quite frankly, where we're going. I super appreciate everybody's eagerness and I don't even want to say just eagerness, just willingness and desire to be informed on the process itself. So we're going to break it down. Put your questions in the chat if you have any, because this is news is for the entire Commonwealth of Virginia. And I made sure I took good notes for y'all. Okay, so number one, as it pertains to the budget, right? The governor and the leadership on both parties are going to team up to hammer out the state budget. If you don't know this, there were some very serious back and forth. So there's going to be a special session, but let me give you the scoop on the why and the what thus far. So this should be a quick live. Okay, so in the House where I sit, we accepted all of the governor's vetoes. And I know that sounds weird to say that we accepted the governor's vetoes. Um, um, we accepted vetoes on things, vetoes on bills, including the ones that would have raised the minimum wage, that created this prescription drug affordability board to cap drug prices, things that would have protected people in Virginia's reproductive freedoms, things that would have prevented assault firearms in public places, right? We accepted those things. Why? Because y'all, we don't have the numbers to override a veto. We have to have a 2/3 vote of our House, which is about 66 votes, to override a veto, right? So when I tell y'all having a full team makes a difference, like when I'm like, look, we got to have the votes to make certain things happen. This is one of those instances where we took in the information, right? We did our part. The governor did what he is able to do with his part. And then we have to come back and have the people to override that veto. We did not have the people to do it, so we had to just accept or nothing like that on the veto side of things. So we didn't override anything. So when I be like, let's get out there and let's get at these, so we get the people in the seats so that we can have, or when I say next year, y'all, we need to be advocating for a governor that shares our values. This is why. This is why we're very purple Commonwealth, and who sits in the governor mansion, who sits in the Senate and the House makes a difference. So we were not able to override any of those vetoes. However, we did tackle hundreds of other amendments that were made yesterday. All right, so here's the deal with the budget. This is the big piece. So we did all the legislative stuff, right? We rejected and accepted different amendments for various reasons, but the biggest thing that came out of yesterday that you all need to have in the back of your mind, because there's a lot more going forward, is that the House, we shot down all every last bit, all of the governor's budget changes, right? Budget shows your values. If you went to summer school, then you know we have a biannual budget. This is our current governor's first budget that belongs to him, because when he came into office, the budget that he came in with was the last budget that our previous Governor Northam, came up with. So he's building this budget that'll be his for the next 2 years. And then in 2 years, he's going to develop another budget. And then the next governor will have his budget for those 2 years. This is why the governorships matter. So this is his first budget. We unanimously, that means Democrats and Republicans together, we voted that the governor's budget amendments did not meet constitutional standards, followed by a vote to pass his budget for the day, pass the budget. As if you, again, if you know this, then you know that the budget is also a bill that comes in two forms: House Bill 29 and House Bill 30 were the budget this year, right? So we passed it by. When we pass by a bill, that means like we're not going to take action on it for that day, right? We're just passing it by. Why that killed the bill essentially was because we were not scheduled to be there another day. So if we pass it by, that kills that bill. That means we're not going to hear that bill anymore. It's so good to see you too. It was good to see you too. I'm looking at the comments too. Okay, so there's that. Questions, drop them in the chat if you have questions as I'm talking, right? So what that did, because we effectively killed the budget bill in its current form, that allows everyone, remember I said everybody's going to come together for negotiations, that gives everybody the opportunity to come to the table from scratch, or with the budget they originally started with before we started negotiating together. That makes sense? Okay. So what now what? That means that since we've done all the work with legislation, so if you're looking at a piece of legislation, you're like, I'm wondering, is it dead, is it alive, what's formed, whatever happened on any other legislation yesterday that did not have to do with the budget, that's pretty much almost the final act, unless the governor comes back and decides to veto some of the things because we didn't accept the changes or whatever. However, we are going to be in what we call a special session, right? A special session is like we didn't get all our stuff done. We need more time to do it. There's a special session being called. So this special session will be May 13th, where we'll get a chance to review the new budget, whatever that new budget is. Remember, we have to hold that budget for 48 hours. So followed by a vote, right? A vote on that budget 2 days later. So by the 15th, if off the timeline goes well, we'll get a new budget to review on the 13th of May, and then we'll vote on it on May 15th. Now, this is going to allow the House, the Senate, the governor's administration 30 days or so to sort of craft a new proposal on all sides that all sides can agree on. Because remember, it was kind of publicly I don't want to say publicly messy, but it was a lot going on publicly about going back and forth on that budget. So there is some hope, right? There is some hope that we're not going to have a government shutdown, that essentially that maybe we will be able to see some of our values in the budget across the board. Both the Democrats and the Republicans are saying that they want to work towards a deal. The governor is saying they want to work towards something to be unified and take it very seriously, the compromise that needs to happen, because there's so much at stake. So when we talk about the budget, it isn't just about showing our values. Know that the rest of banks and all these other folks are looking at our ability to take care of our money as to whether or not they allow us to borrow to do certain things. So us providing certainty and not looking like Florida, quite frankly, not looking like, helps our ability to do good work at both economically and then for you all as constituents and folks of the Commonwealth to be able to see that, yeah, we're here to do good work. So what I'd say to you all is to stay tuned for more updates. It looks like there is opportunity and space that folks are trying to find some common ground, and we're going to keep Virginia moving forward. We're going to take care of families. You're going to have the right to feel safe, supported, and empowered to improve your quality of life. And as soon as I get the opportunity to look at what's going on within the budget, then you know that I'm going to share with you. You're going to know what I know. so much as I can make sure that that happens. So I'm double checking to make sure that there are no questions, comments, concerns about anything. I'm looking on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, X. What you got? No questions? No comments? Making sure. All right. Yo, that is really all I got. I wanted to make sure that you all had that. And shout out to Aunt at Rec Lead for being like, give me the rundown. And I was like, you know what I need to do? I need to go ahead and do that rundown for y'all. That was 10 minutes. Woo! You are very welcome, Yvette. Very welcome. So I'll say this, that if anything does come up, don't hesitate to comment on this particular video or drop us a DM, call our office, whatever you got to do to stay in the know. Until next time, I'm Jackie Glass, Mama, Navy Vet, certified doer just like you, and the laced up legislator for the House of Delegates 93rd District. So grateful to serve. I will see you certified doers getting more done on the flippity flop. Be well.